If I were to ask for a show of hands as to how many of you would like to be poor or would like to be hungry or would want to weep, I don't think any of you, any of us would, naturally desire to be poor or to be hungry or to be weeping or to have people hate us. So what is Jesus, what does he mean when he says, blessed are you who weep and mourn, who are poor, who are hungry. So this gospel is from the Gospel of St. Luke, and it's called the Sermon on the Plain, which has some similarity with Matthew's gospel, which is the Sermon on the Mount. And as we know, Luke's gospel is kind of more directed and brings Jesus, very clearly as having a preferential love for the poor and those on the margins. So there is, this thing of this revelation of God who is, concerned about the poor and those who are on the margins of society. But I want to step out of that for our reflection this afternoon and kind of look at this passage in terms of our spiritual journey as two orientations that we could have. And one is an orientation where we constantly seek, we seek rich and wealth and health. And a lot of that, as we do that, a lot of that is focused on ourselves. We are at the center of those efforts. But when we turn things around and actually we detach ourselves from our wealth, we detach ourselves from our health, we detach ourselves from seeking glory, we move the focus from ourselves to God. And for me, this is as I was reflecting on this gospel reading, I felt, that this is the call that we have in terms of the invitation that is extended to us is an invitation of detachment rather than attachment to wealth and glory and riches, is detaching ourselves from this so that we can place God at the center of our lives. That we can surrender in trust to God. And so let us pray for that grace as we celebrate this Eucharist today, that we might continue in our lives to keep God at the center, that we continue to keep God at the focus of all that we do, trusting in God's providence, trusting that God cares for us as His children.